Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Happy birthday, United States of America. 250 years strong. I am bringing you a 4th of July special today. The Tier 6 alternate line tech tree destroyer, the Hughes. All right, don't be confused. This is not the Charles F. Hughes, the beloved F-bomb. No, this is a different ship with the same last name. When you compare this to another ship in the U.S. tree, do not compare this to the Charles F. Hughes, even though I will make that mistake at the end of the video. Compare it to the Sims. Really, the big difference between this ship and the Sims or the Hughes is that the Sims or the Charles F. Hughes, the Charles F. Hughes and the Sims are very much knife fighting ships, in my opinion. And this ship, the Hughes, is not a knife fighter at all, for a couple of different reasons. First and foremost being, you have a very slow turret traverse. You have a terrible reload compared to those other two ships. You do make up for it a little bit in Alpha Strike, and your torpedoes are much more effective in the Hughes tech tree ship than either the Sims or the Charles F. Hughes, aka the F-bomb. If you use the torpedo mod on the Sims like I do, they'll go farther, 10 kilometers. They'll do more than or less than half the damage that the torpedoes of this ship, the Hughes, do. So, and I just do that to create a different flavor for the Sims. Because other than that, the Sims and the Charles F. Hughes, in my opinion, are pretty similar. Both of those ships have better AA than this ship does, but this ship has DFAA charges. I wish they recharged a little bit quicker. They don't. Here's a look at the teams. We are on straight, and we are top tier in the Hughes. There are aircraft carriers on both teams. And I spent $200. I was tempted to spend another $100 today, but I didn't. This is all I got for my troubles, was this ship. And a bunch of camouflage. All right, there is a Graf Spey over there. I was thinking somebody else might be over here, but maybe not. You can see I do have the camouflage I was just talking about, the camo that I had to pay to get with the Independium or whatever it's called. I don't have the destroyer yet, which is why I was probably going to spend more money. The legendary tier destroyer that goes with the camouflage. Nope, don't have that yet. Don't have any of the other early access ships. But I do have the non-F-bomb. All right, we're going to send some torps out into that gap, just one set. The torpedoes, by the way, for this destroyer, although they do over 20,000 max damage with our build, travel at just 40 knots. So if somebody gets hit by one of these torpedoes, they're really done. Because they're fucking slow as hell. All right. Other off the top of my head differences between this and the Sims. The Sims is a little stealthier at 5.3. The Sims is faster at 38.5. I think that's on modified speed, so maybe 39.5. You put the speed boost flag on it. This thing is at 36 with the speed boost flag, so it's slow. Much better alpha strike on the guns with this ship. Probably about maybe 1850 to 2150 or 1800 to 2150. Definitely have an advantage with this ship in terms of that. And the best thing I haven't even really talked about yet is this advanced radar. As you can see, the whole time we've been driving around, right now on the minimap, the radar is pinging around in a circle around our ship on the minimap. And it's going to allow you to see stuff that maybe you're not seeing with your eyeballs. All right, there is another set of torpedoes. We're going to crash to the island, throw up our smoke screen. back up to produce our signature. The Graf Spey is going to turn to and fro. He's not going to be able to get away from our last torpedo. That's right. Sayonara means goodbye. All right, kill number 1. And Arizona is coming over. We're just going to keep backing and turning. He's out of torpedo range, even though these torps do have a great range of 8 kilometers. Charles F. Hughes torpedo range, 6.4 kilometers. Not sure what the non-modified Sims torpedo range is, but I think it's probably pretty bad. Probably like, maybe it's 8 kilometers. I think it's probably more like 6 point something. So anyway, enough about not the Hughes. The Hughes doesn't appear to be on PC either. I went to wiki.wargaming.net and I can't find it. I got the Sims B, the Charles F. Hughes, the Black B, the Summer CE, the Laffey, which is a different class of destroyer, the Benham, blah, blah, blah. So I don't think they have this ship on PC. So that's interesting to me. Let's talk about the real Hughes destroyer. All right. It was a Sims-class destroyer in the service of the U.S. Navy DD-410. Laid down in 1937 at Bath Iron Works in Bath, Maine. Sponsored by the widow of the aforementioned Mr. Hughes, who was a commander in the military. Edward Merritt Hughes from Lockburn, Ohio. Reached the high point of his career during the Spanish-American War. Commanded the USS Petrel, P-E-T-R-E-L, that's a bird, during the Battle of Manila Bay. All right, while we're talking about that, we're going to squeeze up the gap here. I did not end up shooting torpedoes at the Bayern simply because I could never get them within range, but at the same time, keep myself from being spotted. All right, I think we just spotted the aircraft carrier, speaking of spotted. But I think the enemy team is going to make a grievous mistake in their gameplay. Just keep an eye on what they're doing in and about the cap for me. We're going to start hunting down this aircraft carrier while I continue talking about the history of the Hughes. All right, the Hughes deployed to the Atlantic Fleet. First patrolled off Martinique to keep a track of the French Vichy forces. And then on neutrality patrol off Iceland. The Hughes sailed back, arriving in San Diego after the attack on Pearl Harbor in company with the Yorktown. Blah, blah, blah. Now my mouse isn't working. Hughes sailed to Samoa, part of a carrier strike force built around the Yorktown, screened the carrier in strikes on bunch of islands whose name I'm not going to try to pronounce, including the Canton Islands, supported Task Force 17, that's Lexington, Yorktown, attacked Japanese bases on Lai and Salamaua, missed the Battle of the Coral Sea because it was escorting a tanker, reached Pearl Harbor in time to participate in the Battle of Midway, shot down a couple torpedo planes, assisted in shooting down a couple of others. Hughes did an all-night vigil after the Yorktown was hit to prevent her capture. When the carrier was torpedoed by a submarine 2 days later, Hughes helped damage the attacker with depth charges and rescued the survivors when Yorktown sank on June 7th. Some more convoy escorting duty, joined the American forces at Guadalcanal, screened the Hornet throughout the Guadalcanal campaign. Battle of Santa Cruz, the Hughes splashed one Japanese plane, assisted in downing a couple more, but couldn't protect the Hornet either, which was sunk on 27 October 42. Hughes then screened Enterprise until the end of 43. Sailed for Pearl Harbor in 43. Departed the Aleutians for overhaul in August of 43. And that might be when the guns were upgraded. Let's see if it says here. It does not. It describes the guns as 5.5-inch mounts. So, was the upgrades guns AA? I really wish they gave me more info, but we're not sure. Checking back on the game, I haven't killed this pesky carrier yet, but we're going to. Back to the history of the Hughes, which is much more interesting. Blah, blah, blah. 1944 joined Task Force 53 in the invasion of the Marshall Islands. Took part in the invasion of Hollandia, New Guinea. Blah, blah, blah. Convoy escort and fire support ship for the 7th Fleet. Departed for the Philippines. 1, 2, 3, 4 different invasions. Serving as the flagship of Rear Admiral William Fechteler. Blah, blah, blah. Then became the flagship of Rear Admiral Arthur Struble during the invasion of Leyte. Captured a couple of islands. Began screening convoys again. Another invasion of Ormoc Bay, somewhere near Leyte. Served as a picket ship, was hit by a kamikaze. 23 sailors dead or wounded. Badly damaged. Hughes was towed to Leyte, where she was repaired, then on to New Guinea, then on to Pearl Harbor for more repairs, and then finally to San Francisco for 3 months of even further repair. Combat ready on 4th of June 1945, part of the Aleutians Northern Pacific Task Force, harassing enemy shipping and bombarding Japanese bases. Patrol force off northern Honshu until relieved in 20 October. Decommissioned on 28 August 46. Used as a target ship in the Operation Crossroads atomic bomb test. Towed to sea and sunk off Kwajalein after that. Struck from the Naval Register in November of 48. The Hughes earned 14 battle stars. Quite a prolific ship. All right. Our team has fought back. It's now 4-4. I am debating right now capturing the base or leaving the base in order to assist my team. And I realize if I leave the base, we won't have time to do anything else. But I do have time to capture the base if I don't leave. So I'm going to turn around here and go back in the middle. I am keeping an eye out using my passive radar for the enemy destroyer, who I have no clue what the enemy destroyer is doing right now. And I really think if the enemy destroyer had just gotten under a cap and stayed there, they would have won this match. And so I'm going to do for our team what the enemy destroyer did not do for the red team. And that's I'm going to get on the cap and I'm going to stay there. They tried to go all out to kill our carrier. That didn't work. I went and killed the red team's carrier, and then I capped the red team's base. So I'm sorry, I didn't have a fantastic match in the Hughes. Is it capable of fantastic matches? Yes. I'm saying that based on torp damage alone. If you can get torps off and your targets are big, slow ships like carriers and battleships that can't get out of the way, you can do a ton of damage. One salvo could be 80k damage, if you get the max damage multiplier on all those. Now, granted, you probably won't, but in my opinion, torpedoes are a much more effective way to do damage in this game as a destroyer. I've said that many times. Also, you have a better alpha strike on your guns, so if you can pick and choose your battles, maybe use the smoke radar combo on an enemy destroyer, especially if they're wounded, you're not going to lose those fights. You will on a straight gunfight against a healthy enemy that's a knife fighter, you will lose that fight. But against a damaged destroyer where you can use that alpha strike against them, I think you can come out on top based on tactics. So all in all, I am so glad this is just not a copy of the Charles F. Hughes. I'm glad it's bringing a different flavor to this game. You certainly don't have a lack of commanders to choose from in the Hughes. And I'm hoping I will find the other destroyers as enjoyable if and when they unlock them. I mean, right now I'm fighting the urge to go gambling again to buy the rest of them to see how they are. But mostly because I'm already pot committed on the camo reward destroyer, and so I just need 10,000 more Independium to get that. So whether I do that, who knows? But we get the solo base cap and win the match. Here on the victory screen, 65,269 total damage. We had 87 main battery hits, 3 torpedo strikes, 10 airplane shot down, 2 kills, 3 fires, 1 flood, and 1 solo base cap. We ended up with 250,620 total damage, 4,800 ship XP, 5,200 commander XP, under the watchful eye of Bull Halsey here in the Hughes. Well, we're not number 1, the Independence is. And we're not number 2, the Bayern is. We are number 3. No medals, 2 kills, 20,095 base XP. I think we all can say I'm responsible for this win. The Mahan on the other team didn't do any damage at all. Whether he quit or got disconnected, who knows? All right, here in the port, we are in early access. And we are fully upgraded as well. There's a look at that beautiful camouflage. Aiming system mod 1 and mod slot number 1. Mod slot 2, damage control system mod 2. The controller got sticky there. Concealment system mod 1 and mod slot 3. Those are the mods I recommend. Again, it is a fully upgraded destroyer. Taking a look at the loadout. High explosive armor piercing and regular torpedoes. Unlimited charges of the damage control party. 2 charges of a smoke generator. 2 charges of the advanced radar, which only runs for 10 seconds. But take a look at that advanced effect. Rotating radar sweep. Nearby ships on the minimap, 8-kilometer range. So that's pretty nice. Please use that to your tactical advantage out there on the high seas. 3 charges of the DFAA. I really wish the recharge time on that was better. We ran the common battle boost for speed. We've got the righteous premium camouflage. Let's take a look at the standard camouflage. I'm just now remembering, oh, you have to make it first. So let's make it and put it on. Compare that to the title card. That looks pretty accurate. So I'm glad they have a period accurate camo on the ship. Didn't have a lot of flags to choose from, so we went with the Victory and Europe flag 25. Maybe someday I'll unlock the July 4th flag and replace it. But yeah, I don't have that right now. So VE flag, that used to be a holiday, everybody. All right, survivability, 19,400 hit points. It's a pretty good boost over the Sims and Charles F. Hughes. Main battery, 4 individual 127s. This is a different gun layout than the Charles F. Hughes or the Sims in terms of the types of guns. 10.9 kilometer range, 4.3 second reload, much longer. 13.8 second turn time, not great. I want to say the Sims and the Charles F. Hughes have 127 Mark 1 and 3 Mark Zeros, if I'm remembering that correctly. Anyway, dispersion, all just a little bit worse here. HE shells 2150 max damage with a 9% fire chance. They pen 21 millimeters of armor. AP shells do a ton more damage. 3465. I think the F-bomb and the Sims probably do 2200. Pens 300.8 millimeters at point blank range, 78.9 at max range. Increased ricochet angles, and the fuse arming threshold is 21 millimeters. So definitely a little bit more capability in these guns. Torpedo launchers, 2 quad launchers, shoot out to 8 kilometers. They travel an abysmal 40 knots and reload in 90 seconds. Max simulated damage, 20,798. Sounds like a tier 7 or an 8 torpedo to me. Concealment, 900 meter detectability range, and it arms in just over 130 meters. All right, AA defense, your main battery is dual purpose and does count as AA. You do not get the benefit of the 40 millimeter Rovers guns, so your other AA is not that great. Again, this is a slow destroyer, 36 knots top speed with the speed boost flag, 500-meter turning circle, 3-second rudder shift time, concealment, 5.5 in the surface, 3.1 from the air, 2.6 when firing from smoke. The same as the Charles F. Hughes, maybe 200 meters better than the Sims. We played 2 battles. We've won 1 and lost 1. Look at that main battery accuracy, 84%. 84%. That's pretty wild to see how that's going to carry forward. We're averaging 1 kill, 34k damage per match. The last match you saw was our best match. Clearly. Nothing special here in the armor viewer. Blah, 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 blah. Entirety of World War II in the Pacific Theater. Well, I just read you the history of the ship. Not totally accurate, at least from what I read. All right, take a look at the F-bomb here. It's not the same ship. I want to make that clear. The F-bomb is a Benson-class destroyer and has less survivability. There's the main battery arrangement I was talking about. Shorter range, torpedoes do half the damage. AA is much better because it has 40 millimeter Bofors guns. Maneuverability is better. Rudder shift time is the same. Concealment is the same, even though it looks like it's better. But again, that's not the right ship. I would compare it more to the Sims. Anyway, that's the Hughes. Like, comment, subscribe down below. Don't blow your hand off with any fireworks. See you next time.